Most people do not take the time to articulate to themselves, never lie, which would make your life easier.
One of the things that I definitely struggled with, and I want your advice on, is what are the principles of that healthy communication, that ego-free communication that you and Lisa have adopted?
Never lie.
Okay.
Which would make your life in the moment temporarily easier. I can't tell you the number of arguments that we'll be in, and she'll give me an out where she's restating my thesis a little bit wrong, but it would end the argument. And all I have to do is say, thank you so much. That means so much to me that you understand that. And I'm like, that's not quite it. And I know that when I restate what it really is, it's another hour or two of arguing, but you got to do it, because then you can actually get to, this is where I am at. Help me understand where you're at. And then let's find the way forward. But if you never, here's the big problem. Most people do not take the time to articulate to themselves what's bothering them. So my whole thing, and this drives my wife up a wall when we're in an argument. She likes it the rest of the time. But say in a single sentence, what's bothering you? Most people can't do it. And I'll stop her. You're waffling. Stop. Say it in a single sentence, because you don't understand it well enough, and therefore we can't get to it. And so she holds me accountable to the same thing. If I'm all over the place, then she's like, hey, single sentence, give it to me so I can actually understand where you're at. Most people, they can't get to a single sentence, or they don't want to get to a single sentence. They want to but it's all of these crazy things. It's like, it's impossible to deal with. So give me a single sentence summation of what your problem is. No commas, no parentheticals, no run-ons, a single sentence. I'm feeling insecure because you didn't pay attention to me when I asked you if you wanted to go on a date this weekend. Word. Now I know right where you're at. But if you don't want to acknowledge that that made you feel insecure, now we're arguing about the tea, as my wife and I call it. The biggest argument my wife and I ever got in, was over a cup of tea. We were screaming. We were on our way to a wonderful vacation. I actually turned the car around and was like, we're not even going. We're going home right now. And literally when I turned around, I was like, this is over a cup of tea. I'm like, there is no way that we are arguing about a cup of tea, to the point where I am turning around and we're not going on the only vacation that we've taken in whatever, at that point it had been like 18 months. So I'm like, what's this really about? And so then we got to the real issue. And I realized, oh my God, in communication, you have to admit your flaws, your insecurities. Like you need to immediately go, okay, I'm angry. And I know that when I'm angry, it's because I'm insecure. What am I insecure about? Oh, I'm insecure about this. Oh my God. And then you just own it. Here's what's really going on for me. And now you can process through and get to where you really want to be. But most people assume they're angry because the other person is wrong. And once you assume you're angry because the other person is wrong, you're never going to get to the real issue. And so Lisa and I are very good about, okay, what's really bothering you? And then and of course, when you're in it, it just really does feel like they're just wrong. And so I'm mad because they're wrong. But I have a just belief system that you end up getting triggered because you're insecure. And so we have to figure out what was the insecurity that got triggered so we can address that and figure out the path forward.